Wagwan everyone, and welcome back to another video on this channel. This one here is a live stream. Wait there. Before I carry on, can everyone hear me okay? Ed, can you hear me? Is anyone even here? If anyone's here, can you let me know? Okay. Before I carry on, can you hear me? But just in case anyway, Wagwan everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. Yes, this one here is a live stream. This was a last minute decision, I'm not going to lie. I was recording the video for this planned video coming and this stream, and I thought, you know what, let's just do it live instead so we can just do it together and we can break it down, and I'll go hi sis, and I'll go for the for and against into what this video is going to be. So yeah, we should go through everything. Got my notes here, so if you see me looking down, I've got my notes of the video. So as you can see from the title, it's a Premier League prediction video. So this is my prediction for where I think certain teams are going to finish in the league. We're going to be going from 20th to 1st. So in that order. So we'll leave the juicy bits till last. I hope this video isn't going to be too long for those. Yes, Jake, nice to see you there too. But for this video, I'm going to be giving, as I go into each team, I'm going to be giving a reason for why I think that team will finish in that position. And I'm going to make it balanced. And so I'm going to give arguments for and against, whilst also giving two players. I'm going to give the key player for that team. For that team to perform, they're going to need this player to perform well. And they're going to have to rely upon this player. And the second player is going to be my breakthrough player. This is what I spent a lot of time doing research for. So I thought, why not? Let's bring it on. Anyways, without further ado, this is my first live stream, guys. So I've never done this before. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to share the screen. Yep. Share entire screen. There we go. Yep, you're seeing this right now. But I'm going to use, I can't see you now, guys. So this is just all I'm going to see. So right now I've gone onto the BBC Sport website, and I thought, let's do the predictor, use this as the predictor table. So I'm going to start off with my first team. The team that I think is going to finish bottom. Yeah, not Wolves. I know we've got a couple of Wolves fans in here, so I can't put you there just for that reason. But for me, it's Watford. And the reasons why I've gone for Watford, I've written them down. They've got a very similar squad to the squad that they came up to the Premier League with, and that they got relegated with as well. So they haven't been very active in this transfer market. I have liked some of the deals that they have made, but with the spine of the team, and that's what I like to do. I like to compartmentalize. When I look at a squad, I like to look at the spine, so compartmentalize the squad and look at the goalkeeper, the centre backs, the midfielders, and the strikers, because those are the positions that matter the most, especially lower down the league. And with Watford, they've got Ben Foster. I'm not sure. I've not watched too much of them. I'm not going to lie, so I'm not going to be screaming from the rooftops, but he's aging. He's got a brilliant YouTube channel. I know that for a fact. Their backup goalkeeper, Daniel Bachmann, he performed pretty well at the Euros, I think, for Austria. The centre-backs are the same. I think it's Kabasele and Craig Cathcart. And the midfield's very similar as well. And then the strikers, Troy Deeney, Andre Gray are still there. But that leads me on to my key player. And for Watford, if they're going to have a successful season, for me, it's relying upon the fitness of Joshua King. Josh King, for my brother, an absolute fantasy Premier League legend. I know he's, let me come back to here for a second. Sorry. A fantasy Premier League legend. And he done really well for Bournemouth in keeping them up when they had their stay in the Premier League. And I feel like he's going to have to do the exact same for Watford. But with the past few seasons, his injury record has let him down. It was at Everton last season on loan. Yeah. Was it on loan or was it a buy? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I don't think that he will stay fit enough to keep Watford up. They do have leaders, though. On the other hand, for the against argument, they do have got a lot of leaders with the likes of Troy Deeney, Ben Foster, Craig Cathcart. They've all, I've left the screen. So yeah, that's interesting for Watford. And let's get back. I spent too long talking about them. I'm going to be quite quicker with these. So in 19th, I've gone for Norwich. Pretty similar squad as well to what we've seen when they got promoted. But it's even worse now for me, guys, as they have lost Buendia, the big creative source, someone that they was relying on to create the most of their chances that they couldn't really score anyway. With Timu Pukki up front, he started off well, if you remember. So they're going to be relying on the likes of Todd Cantwell, who I really think is a good player, Max Aarons to perform. They've got some decent players, and especially with Billy Gilmore on loan, a lot of Chelsea fans really rate him. From what I've seen of him, he has been pretty decent. Also, I do think he's been overhyped. And yes, Ed, I do agree. Rubbish team. They were terrible last time out. I'll see if I can put this comment up on the screen. Yeah, not a Premier League striker. Very, very much so. With this Norwich team, it's similar as well. For their key player, for me, is Milo Rashica. Aston Villa fans, you may have heard of him. He was linked a lot with him last season in the summer. Yeah, he had a poor season last season from when I was looking at. So he really underperformed. Werder Bremen, when he was at Werder Bremen, yeah, he's not going to come into the Premier League, in my opinion, and take it by storm. And that's what he's going to have to do if Norwich are going to have a chance. And the breakthrough player for Norwich. I didn't go through the breakthrough player for Watford. Breakthrough player for Watford, João Pedro, outstanding, smashed it in the Championship, by the way. But for Norwich, for me, Billy Gilmore, it's got to have to be. He's going to break through. I believe he's going to break through this season with consistent game time in the system that Norwich play, with the possession-based, attacking football, keeping it fluid, as Daniel Farke likes to do, who I also think is a good manager, but not enough to keep Norwich up in the Premier League. And in 18th, this is my first rogue shout, and I'm going for it. It's Burnley. Sorry, guys, if you can hear that. Let me turn that. Oh, sorry. Burnley. I didn't share that. Let's go here. It is Burnley. There you go. As you can see, that's my rogue shout. I don't think Burnley are going to have a good season this season. For me, my arguments for Burnley, the squad is very stale with how it's been stayed the same. It's aging as well. Big players aging, and also the key players. For me, James Tarkowski, his contract's ending in the summer, and he's leaving. He's not extending his stay. And that's a big player for Burnley, and that's one of their rocks at the back. And looking at Burnley, they're going to have to rely upon the fitness levels of these players to stay the same, to maintain the fast hustle and bustle Premier League teams with the likes of Brentford, even Norwich. And I'm not sure if they can sustain this anymore. Sean Dyche has squeezed every bit of juice out of that squad for me. And it's going to be interesting to see how he can keep this same squad motivated to the levels that they were before. I'm sure he's very good at doing that. But I just feel like this is the season. There's always one team that drops out that nobody expects. Last season, that was Sheffield United. I predicted that, but I'm not going to talk too much because I also predicted West Ham to have a poor season. And that didn't quite end that way. So, yes. And key player for not Sheffield United. Key player for Burnley, he's got to be Chris Wood. That's the person, that's the striker, the one that they're relying on to score the goals, to eventually keep them up, because they do keep a solid base. They won't concede a lot of goals, Burnley, as we know, but they're going to have to rely on Chris Wood to score a lot of goals too. And the creativity provided is also going to have to be through Dwight McNeil, which is going to be interesting to see how he performs this season. He had certain periods last season. I remember in the first half, he was quite good. He scored a wonderful goal against Everton with that curling shot, and as they beat Everton at Goodison Park. But I don't think it will be enough this season, and we will see a big drop-off. Let's not forget to show the screen this time. So in 17th, another one that could be a surprise, but I think everybody's going for them, and it is Southampton. For me, Southampton, with losing Danny Ings, that is a big blow. And with the news breaking out today, as I was preparing for this stream, they're losing Yannick Vestergaard as well. Southampton, for me, they already concede a lot of goals. They've conceded too many goals under Ralph Hasenhüttl's team, under his tenure there. But they managed to score quite a few with the likes of Danny Ings, chipping in with, well, most of the goals. Che Adams was he didn't score too many, to be honest. So that makes it even worse for me. They are an attractive side to watch, Southampton. Let me come back just so I make sure everything's running smoothly. They are an attractive side to watch. I do believe that Ralph Hasenhüttl is a good manager and could be managing a top 10 club in the future. It's going to be, but as I said, with the likes of Danny Ings lost, Ryan Bertrand as well, completely forgot about that. Yannick Vestergaard, yeah, I think he's taking too much of the core from that team. As I was talking about the spine, the key players, the experienced players, the big experienced players that lead that dressing room and set the examples and set the standards of the club. It's going to be a tough, but I think they do have enough to stay up, so that's why I've gone for them there. That might bite me in the backside in the future. Let's go back and share this screen for you. In 16th for me, I have gone for Newcastle United. Newcastle, not the greatest team to watch in the league. They're not a pretty watch. I feel sorry for their fans. Their fans they're not big fans of Steve Bruce and his football, being an ex-Sunderland manager as well. So it's not great. And they haven't made much signings either. I know they've signed Joel Willock. It's not been confirmed yet, but they've signed Joel Willock. Well, they will have signed Joel Willock by the time the season starts. I think maybe their season kicks off, but that's not enough. And Joel Willock did amaze Newcastle fans, and as they say, you should never fall in love with a lone player. They got away with it. They've fallen in love with Joel Willock, and it looks like they have signed him. And it's for him to keep that level of performance up and the output that he was putting out towards the latter end of the season in the second half. 8 goals in 8 games. It was in 8 games in a row. Yeah, for a midfielder, he's going to have to be putting ridiculous numbers up again. Don't see that happening. But the key player is, and why I think that they will stay up eventually, Callum Wilson. Everybody knows that. Callum Wilson's the one that scores the goals. And I've brought up a lot of strikers and attacking players so far. Don't worry, I will go into other positions as well. Callum Wilson, the reason why it's so much pressure on him is also because of his fitness record as well. He's going to have to stay fit for most of the season. As long as he stays fit, he will score the goals for Newcastle. He will do enough to keep them up with the likes of St. Maximin creating, Miguel Almiron. They've got some decent attacking players. And with Joel Willock coming in, he'll provide support, at least a goal-scoring outlet for Newcastle. That is the massive... Keeping those players fit and firing. With the likes of Alan St. Maximin and Miguel Almiron, they're inconsistent with the form that they show. They can perform one week, and when they are performing, they are virtually unplayable. The Newcastle fans, they do like watch... with the Steve Bruce football, at least you got Alan St. Maximin. And speaking of Alan St. Maximin, he is actually my breakthrough player. I know he's a key player for them already, as I mentioned. This is the time for him to break through and finally make that step up where he can go and show a top Premier League club, whether it's a top Premier League one or just a European club, that he is worth the hype. I think he is he reminds me a lot of Adama Traore, as the Wolves fans will probably know and agree. I just can't see the new comments at the moment. Sorry. But yeah, as Wolves fans will probably agree with how streaky they are. And apart from that one season, not last season before last with the Adama Traore, where he put up consistent numbers, I think this could be the similar breakout for St. Maximin. And keep an eye on him, and let's hope that he does, because he's an entertaining player to watch at the end of the day. So in 15th for me, I've gone for Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm a massive fan of Graham Potter and the style of play that he's brought to the seaside for Brighton, for the Seagulls. They are such an attractive team to watch. And if you looked at expected points last season, They were with expected points. Just a quick breakdown, if some of you guys don't know what that is. Like statistics and analysis. Look at the shots, the big chances created, the defensive, like how, and they kind of break it down into how many points that this team was expected to get with the chances that they created, with how little chances they conceded, etc., etc. And Brighton, they were projected and should have finished 5th. And the main reason for that was they didn't have a goal scorer. And that's their problem. And that's why I don't think that they will go any higher than 15th, in my opinion, unfortunately. We're going to have to see how the loss of Ben White will affect this Brighton team from last season. It might change the formation. Yeah, actually, it will change the formation. They were playing a 3 at the back. And I feel like Ben White's abilities with his ability on the ball, with his technique, with his ability to step out from centre back and really play those passes or just dribble as well. He's a very good dribbler, Ben White. So I'm happy to have him at Arsenal. But we're going to see how Brighton do there. With also the likes of Basuma may leave at some point. Brighton fans hoping not. But with the interest around Basuma, Arsenal are interested, not as interested as a lot of fans might want. Liverpool will have an interest as well. Basuma is quality. He does have the ability and to step up and become a European player, at least playing in the Europa League. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen there. So with that staying the same, I feel like Brighton are going to come and just solidify their Premier League position again. Their breakthrough player, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but I know I've said but a lot, actually. I've been thinking that. It's Robert Sanchez, is the goalkeeper. You're thinking, what? Check this out on Fantasy Premier League. Speaking of Fantasy Premier League, I'm also going to create a league, and I'll release more details on that tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Fantasy Premier League, 4.5 million, Robert Sanchez. You need to chuck him in. Brighton, as I said, they had a great defence. They had one of the league's best defences last season. With the likes of, like, if you had Lewis Dunk at the back, you'd have picked up a few points. Tariq Lamptey, he was a big choice at the start of the season before his injury woes. Robert Sanchez, 4.5 million goalkeeper. With the likes of Emi Martinez is 5.5, by the way. Yeah, I've had a look. I've not picked my team yet. Let's carry on and let's get back to the video. 14th for me. In 14th, I have gone. I need to remember. Hang on. Sorry, 1 second. Who did I go for in 14th? Oh, yeah. Brentford. I've tipped Brentford to have a good season. Just to give you a bit of an overview on Brentford, those of you who might not have a lot of knowledge of them, there it is. Yes, I can see your comments now. For Brentford, I believe that, well, I believe, they are one of the best run clubs in this country with how they recruit, they sell, they buy and sell players and make a huge profit and continue to keep producing. Just in case you guys don't know, Brentford don't have an academy. They decided to fold that academy. They decided it wasn't worth running. It cost the club more money to run an academy, and they felt that their best players were just getting poached. For example, Brentford, Ian Poveda, the one who plays for Leeds, the number 7, the winger. I can't. Yeah, the short guy. That's what I was going to say. He came from the Brentford Academy, and Man City just poached, and they found that they kept regularly getting their best players poached from their academy, their best prospects. But with Brentford, for me, with how they're run, the slots of Ollie Watkins, Neil Maupay, Said Benrahma, the sales that they've shown, Ezri Konsa, he was another one as well. No, was he there? Was it Charlton? No, Ezri Konsa was there. Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a few more as well with Brentford. And now with the likes of Ivan Toney, and that moves on to who I think that's going to be their key player. As long as Ivan Toney can produce the same form and score, I wouldn't say similar amounts, but score similar amount of goals for Brentford as he did in the Championship, if he can bring at least 10 to 15 goals in this Premier League, Brentford will create chances. They're an attractive team to watch as well with Thomas Frank side. They are progressive. They do like to press. They press very intensely. They have set piece coaches as well. The set pieces are going to be interesting to watch for Brentford this season. Keep an eye out for that. Remember, I've told you that. But yeah, On the other hand, they could also finish bottom or in the relegation with the lack of experience in terms of the Premier League. They do have young players as well, so yeah, that could go against them. But we saw with Leeds last season. Let's hope that we're getting progressive football into this league. So I just want more teams like that and teams like Burnley out, as you can see. Key player, breakthrough player to watch here for Brentford. It's a big one. Josh Da Silva came from Arsenal's academy. Arsenal fans, if you're watching, you may know about him. He's a very interesting player to watch. He's astounding. Come from the Arsenal academy, of course he's going to be. But I'll give you to describe the type of player he is. He'll pick up the ball. He can play in the centre mid or the CDM position, so defensive midfielder. But he more plays as that as like a double pivot. But he's more of a centre mid, box-to-box midfielder as a ball progressor. If I was to give you a player that he's like, I'd say probably a Mateo Kovacic with the way he can dribble with the ball. He's just a technically, aesthetically pleasing footballer to watch. Skillful. He likes a shot as well. He's got an eye for a pass. He's a box-to-box. He's not very good at the defensive side, to be quite honest, in terms of winning the ball back in possession. He will press. He struggled with injuries last season, so that's probably why you didn't really get to hear much about him. But yeah, it's interesting. Keep an eye out for Josh Da Silva. I think he may, even if Brentford do go down, he may get a big step up into the league and may sign for one of the top 10 clubs again. A West Ham could do with a player like that. That would be nice. So their midfield would be ridiculous with him. They've already signed Said Ben Rama, so they can't really take another Brentford player. Well, they can if they can pay the money. But in 13th, I'm going to move over to, and I think this is quite a high prediction for me, is Crystal Palace. And I know it's quite a risky one for me to do that. I'm going to give the against argument first. Given the fact that they've lost Roy Hodgson, a Premier League proven manager who did so well for them in keeping them up and really squeezing every last bit of their players. They've lost a lot of players through free transfers as well. Their contracts expired. And the players that they lost, they were experienced leaders, big players with the likes of Scott Dan, Patrick Van Arnholt, Gary Cahill, who's left as well. Yeah, it's going to be difficult and to begin with, I believe, for Crystal Palace. But for me, they've kept the key player, and you know who that is. It's Wilfried Zaha. With a player like Wilfried Zaha, who's and by the way, I was having this conversation at the gym before I carry on. With Wilfried Zaha, with the way he's behaved at Crystal Palace, in terms of every transfer season, we all know he wants to leave, and he wanted to come to Arsenal at a stage with Unai Emery, where we were heavily linked with him. I've never seen him come out once or mistraining, or I know Harry Kane's denied that, but if that was Zaha talking about professionalism, nobody praises Wilfried Zaha's professionalism, do they? But with Harry Kane, it's just one of them bugbears. I had that conversation at the gym. So yeah, key player Wilfried Zaha is going to be massively important for them. If they're going to have a successful season. As Ed says, he feels like they are going to struggle. And yeah, that I do see where that's coming from. Palace are going to struggle at the start. New manager lost a lot of big players, but they'll come good. Yeah, that's why I agree as well. I'm glad that we're on the same page. I'm glad that I'm not. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. And a big breakout player to watch, Michael Elise. Fantastic. Won Championship's Young Player of the Year last season. Came from Chelsea's academy. Man City. He was on the Man City books as well. Left-footed player. Very left-footed, can I just say, as well. You'll see him typically play either in the 10 or out wide. More of a inverted winger who likes to drift in. He's very skillful as well. As you can see, that's my type. That's my preference. I like watching players with a lot of skill, who try something creative. Yeah. I wish I could really break it down a little bit more. I had the notes on these, but I thought I need to increase the pace of this video. So yes, Crystal Palace 13th, and it's going to be interesting to see how Patrick Vieira, the boy, does the Arsenal. Come on, Arsenal legend Patrick Vieira does with Palace. Vieira, what do you reckon? Yeah, with Vieira, he didn't have a great time at Nice. He got sacked in the end. He did do well at New York City, though. He's a part. It was tipped that he was meant to be the replacement for Pep Guardiola at Manchester City and become one of the coaches, but his time hasn't proven that well so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. It's 50-50. I think the Arsenal in me wants him to perform. And yeah, basically. But if we're looking realistically, nah, I'm not too sure if he actually will, given the track record. But as I said, who have I gone for now? Forgot. 12th. I'm going to try and speed through these a little bit quicker. But in 12th, here it is. I've gone for Wolves. What do you Wolves fans think about this? Let me know in the comments below. But for me, with Wolves, I've gone for them in 12th. Where did you finish last season? Let me know as well in the comments where you finished last season. For me, 12th, that's a good season for Wolves, given the transition that you guys are in. I thought that, Ed said 13th. I thought that with you losing Rui Patricio, I thought at the start of the summer that you was going to end up losing more players with the links with Ruben Neves, Adama Traore being linked with a move away. Willy Bolly, I thought, may leave as well. I may think his time is up. But you managed to keep them. They've had a full pre-season with the guys, with the team so far. Things may change, of course, as the season starts. And you move into a brand new formation, a brand new way of football with most of the same team. So it's going to be a hard start to the season, I believe, for Bruno Laga. Or is it Laga? Is that how you pronounce it? So yeah, for Bruno, as my little bit of knowledge that I do think of Bruno is, I think he's a better manager in terms of the style of play. He'll bring a much more attractive style of play to the Molineux than Nuno did. I know Nuno was successful, but as he saw towards the end, it was a little bit different. 4-2-3-1 this year with inverted wingers is going to be different. Yes, I'll talk about one of the inverted wingers soon as well. But mainly keeping the key players like Willy Bolly, Ruben Neves, and Raul Jimenez coming in and looking like he's getting sharper as each game goes on. Breakout player for Wolves, there's two, and they're both Portuguese. It's Francisco Trincao and Fabio Silva. Those two are going to keep an eye on them. For me, I think that Trincao will be one to watch because I thought he was pretty impressive when I saw him at Barcelona. I remember seeing him coming against PSG when they did lose eventually. Yeah, I think they drew. Yeah, they drew on the night. Was it 2-1? Sorry. Yeah, getting caught up in the facts and figures of irrelevant things. But with Trincao, I thought he was quite decent at Barcelona. And doing my research on him as well, a lot of the Barcelona fans were quite disappointed to see him leave. But with the situation at Barcelona, they just need to get as many players off the wage book as they can. And with the option to buy, it's going to be interesting to see how he does at Wolves. I know he played against Wolves as well for Braga. That's it. And he played really well in that when you guys were in the Europa League 2 seasons ago now. So it's going to be interesting to watch him. Fabio Silva, it's going to be massive to see how he performs. He did have a tough start last season. And he did have a tough first season. I mean, I've roasted him to my brother all the time, saying, I don't think he's that good of a footballer, but you do got to remember how young he is. Massive point as well. I forgot to mention that. His strength is youth. With Bruno Laga, who did he bring through? João Felix, that was the one. He brought through the likes of João Felix at Benfica, Gedson Fernandes, who was at Tottenham, who didn't really impress under Jose Mourinho. But does Jose Mourinho ever trust the youth? So with Wolves, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them this season. The arguments for and against, I believe that they will, and they will probably have a better season. They'll be more interesting to watch. They'll be playing more on the front foot, but maybe against as well with Wolverhampton Wanderers. New manager, new system. He may not adapt to the Premier League as well. We may see a Frank de Boer situation. I doubt that. But yeah, and with the players, you don't know what mindset they're in. Are they 1 foot out the door? Are they always already looking at a different club? Yeah, Wolves, interesting one. So next team, I feel like I'm getting used to it a bit better now. So it's going to be interesting. In the next team, in 11th place, I went for West Ham. I feel like West Ham this season are going to struggle, given Yes, sorry. Given the fact that they've got Europa League, we saw how the Europa League affected them before when they lost to Astra Go Go. Yeah, that famous meme. Yeah, and they haven't developed much in that squad. I think Areola's a good signing, but I don't really see that how Areola improves the first team because Fabianski wasn't a bad goalkeeper either. With Areola, I think he's an improvement on Fabianski, but I don't think that really improves the first 11 as much because I don't see it was an area of weakness. The loss of Jesse Lingard is quite big as well for West Ham, as he played a massive part in the second part of the season into their top form and to finishing in a good place for West Ham. Sorry, pardon me. And a key player for them, for me, there's two. It's Declan Rice, making sure Declan Rice stays fit and stays at the club. I think he will do. I think he'll give it one more season. But the keeping this player fit is Mikel Antonio. Currently, am I right? Have they brought a striker? I've done research into this, but I don't think they have. So yeah, they do definitely need to get a striker in if they haven't before the window closes, because Mikel Antonio, top player, brilliant when he plays, causes a threat. He's really developed into a serious Premier League player over the years, from a winger to a striker that can hold up the ball. He can play with his back to goal. He's good with the ball as well, driving at defenders. Sorry, and creating opportunities and really bringing West Ham up the pitch. Jared Bowen is a good player as well. But yeah, I think they don't really have the squad depth to manage and cope with the season, with the multiple competitions that they are in. And it's David Moyes. He will do well. He will keep them up. There won't be in any relegation trouble. He's a steady, safe manager. So, yes, the next team that I'm going for in 10th. Yes, we're halfway, guys. I think we're about half an hour into this video. Yep, just over half an hour. But the team in 10th, I have gone for Leeds United. I won't go too much into on Leeds because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Marcelo Bielsa, one of the most eccentric managers in the league. Love to watch him. He's entertaining. The football that Leeds play it's rock and roll football. It's serious. It's serious entertainment. At the start of the season, they didn't really defend very much. Towards the end of the season, Marcelo Bielsa really did shore up that back four and the defense, and they stopped leaking as many goals. I feel like a big key area for them being so leaky was the Robin Koch injury. He was their replacement for Ben White. They spent not too much money, but he was their big defender to come in and replace Ben White for that season and really play consistently, but picked up that knee injury, towards December. And they went through an injury crisis themselves at the back. I remember Calvin Phillips had to play a few games at centre-back. The likes of Liam Cooper was injured. That Pascal Strauch was coming in. He's quite young. He wasn't getting many minutes for Leeds prior to last season. So, yeah, with Leeds, it's pretty self-explanatory. Key player, Rafinha, Bamford, key players for me. Calvin Phillips as well, as most people would like to think. But for me, as long as Bamford's scoring the goals, Calvin Phillips is doing what Calvin Phillips does. And just shielding that back four, keeping the tempo ticking for Leeds, went in possession and on the press as well. And Rafinha just creating the many chances. Such a great player to watch, Rafinha last season for him as well. And then he'd probably leave. It's going to be interesting to see how Leeds do with the fans this season. We know how their fans are, how passionate. And I think everybody's love for Leeds will fade away as well, and it will suddenly go. So for the next team in 9th, I went for Everton. Rafa Benitez. I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry. I've gone for Everton. Rafa Benitez in 9th. It's going to be interesting. It's once again to see how Everton do this season. With Rafa Benitez at the helm, having lost Carlo Ancelotti to Real Madrid. Everton fans felt snaked by it, but I mean, some Everton fans did. The realistic ones would know, come on, we're still Everton at the end of the day. And Carlo Ancelotti, they were disappointed by it. I mean, I would be as well. But, Rafa Benitez isn't a bad manager to bring in. I don't know how they're going to feel about that. It's not a bad replacement. It's probably, I don't know, more proven than Arteta. I wouldn't say necessarily better. I think Arteta will have a good career in the future, but he will get the best out of this Everton team. Probably won't be as attractive to watch in certain games. It's going to be interesting to see how James Rodriguez copes, because that was a Carlo Ancelotti signing for Everton, and it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with Rafa Benitez's more pragmatic style of the game. They haven't really brought that. They've brought a couple of players in. They brought Andros Townsend and Damari Gray. Not big players to improve the first 11, in my opinion. Won't expect too much from Everton. May even finish lower, I think. But yeah, with Everton, their key player this season, for me, it is Richarlison. Not Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think Richarlison is probably more important to them, to how they play, in terms of the chances he creates for them as well. Oh, good point, Ed. I never even thought of that burnout, because he did play in the Copa America and the Olympics, and he was a massive player in the Olympic squad. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see with Richarlison how he's going to do this season, coping with that management, as well as just coming off the back of a COVID season with loads of games. So that's going to be their key player for me, how his fitness, how his levels are. And how is he going to develop and improve as a player now that he's had that mantle and won a Olympics medal for his team. A player to, I forgot to do a player to watch for Leeds as well. I'm just going to carry on. We ain't got time. But a player to watch for Everton, I've got it written down. I think, and you've probably never heard of him, it's Jean-Philippe Baman. It's Gabamin, some people may see it as, who play FIFA. He's been at Everton for 3 seasons now, but he's struggled with injuries throughout. I think he's going to be a player to watch if he can regain his fitness, if he can get fit during the season. He was quality at Mainz. He spent 1 season at Lens in France, went to Mainz, 2 seasons there, smashed it, and was really getting touted for the big clubs. I remember Arsenal were interested in him at one point as well. So, yes, it's going to be interesting to see if he gets in game time. For Leeds, I think there is a few players for Leeds that I've thought of, but Junior Firpo, that's going to be one to watch. I think he's a better left back than Alioski was. He's better defensively. Not too sure if he's better going forward, though. Alioski was more of a left winger than he was a left back, but he would provide a bit more defensive stability for Leeds. In 8th position, I know a left back isn't really that exciting unless you like Robertson or, but in 8th position, I've gone for Tottenham, and that is with the thought of Harry Kane leaving. I've put my neck on the line. I'm saying Harry Kane's leaving. If Harry Kane ends up staying and, playing well, I feel like they will finish a place higher. But, if you see my previous video, I've gone for, you should know it already. I'm not going to mention it just in case you haven't. With Harry Kane leaving and with Nuno Espirito Santo there, I think he'll do a decent job with Spurs. He'll make them a bit more defense, like improve their defense. From pre-season, what I've seen so far against Arsenal, they weren't that great defensively. They've brought in a Christian Romero. I feel like they still need to bring in another centre-back as well. But if Harry Kane stays, but I've gone off the chance. Let me say this now. I've gone off the fact that Harry Kane's left. So Tottenham in 8th. I can't see them replacing the goals. I don't think they'll get Lautaro Martinez in. I don't think that they will, replace the goals and assists that Harry Kane did for them last season just to even get them to 7th. Was ridiculous. Harry Kane's gone for me. And Son, key player. He's massively. He's going to have to take on that mantle of Harry Kane. He has performed well when Kane was injured, when Kane suffered with his injury woes in recent seasons. Son did take up the mantle in that period, and he can perform without Harry Kane. I've no doubt of that. So that's why I don't think they'll be any lower than 8th. But I can't really see them any higher as well. Nuno, he won't bring the most attractive style from what Tottenham fans want to see. I feel like Tottenham fans won't be too happy with Nuno in the end. It's just an iffy one. I don't really talk too much on Spurs because, it's Spurs at the end of the day. And the team in 7th that I went for in my video, if you haven't watched it, go click on the last video. It would be probably a bit better than this in terms of a listen. But it is Arsenal. Yes, I do think that Arsenal will finish 7th. And this, once again, is given that I don't think Arsenal will make the signings that we need to. I forgot to mention in that video as well, we do need a backup goalkeeper. In case Leno gets injured, we are screwed. We're in a big, big mess if Leno gets injured, as Alex Runnison is our backup goalkeeper, and 2 youth academy goalkeepers is the 3rd and 4th choice. So I think we will get a backup goalkeeper. I think it'll be Aaron Ramsdale. Not exciting if you're an Arsenal fan. I think it's more to fill up the homegrown quota. I think we will get a cam as well, whether attacking midfielder, whether that is Maddison. I think Maddison will be deadline day if we do get him, but Odegaard, Martin Odegaard, that is how you pronounce it. So yeah, with Martin Odegaard, I think that we will end up getting him actually. And eventually it won't be until after the season starts, so we may struggle in our first couple of games. So yeah, I don't see Arsenal getting any higher than 7th, given that defence looks weaker as well. We look horrifically bad in pre-season in terms of defence. I know it's pre-season, but guys, we have lost a key player, which, yes, Arsenal fans may banter, but David Luiz was a key part of that defence. With the loss of David Luiz and Ben White coming in, it's a lot of pressure on him. He's young. He definitely does have the ability, and I do think that one day, if I'm putting my neck out there, he will improve the side, and he will be a better defender for Arsenal than David Luiz was. But it's been to be difficult with Gabriel coming back late on as well. It's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal do. Next, I've gone for in 6th. This is the big shout. This is the one that I don't think people would see coming. I've gone for Aston Villa. I don't like this because some of the Villa fans that I know they give it to me all the time, and they keep trying to tell me that Villa is a bigger club than Arsenal. But I think this season that they will finish above us. Key players, as we said, the front 3. I couldn't even name an individual because the whole front 3 is going to have to fill Jack Grealish's boots in terms of the goals. Jack Grealish didn't score that many goals, actually. Danny Ings will score those goals. Leon Bailey will provide another goal-scoring threat. I think he'll score a similar amount of goals as to what Jack Grealish does. And if he does that, I think that's a successful season for the Jamaican international. And Buendia, he'll provide the creative spark that Jack Grealish did have. I don't think he'll be as impactful as a key player as Jack Grealish was there, obviously, with the Villa captain, Villa fan, etc., coming up through the academy, of course. Even just Jack Grealish's brand, do you know what I mean? So even I think that happens and plays a part in football as well. But the front 3, I think you can't really get much. If you're an Aston Villa fan, you can't get much better than that for the money that you have had from Jack Grealish. So I do think that Villa have a more settled squad than Arsenal as well. We need a lot of turnover with a lot of our players. They don't want to be here. So I do feel that they will finish above us, unfortunately. And I hope that I'm wrong. I wouldn't mind being wrong for that one. A manager, settled squad, good goalkeeper, decent defence. And Ezri Konsa, I think he's a good player. And he's and he could probably possibly make an England team in the future. Decent midfield as well, probably on a par with Arsenal's at this moment in time. Yeah, as all together, and their attack, yeah, it does have a better look of being a better fluidity than Arsenal's does, and they do seem to balance and provide a much better balance. Yeah, as I said, balance twice for each other in the squad. So the next team in 5th I've gone for is Leicester City. Yes. Can you see that, guys? Yes, you can. Leicester City. I've gone for Leicester in 5th just to miss out on top 4 again. I think also with Leicester, I've put them in 5th as a bit of a safe option because I think Jamie Vardy he's been fantastic. He's a Leicester City legend. He's a legend of the Premier League for what he did for Leicester in that league winning season. And he's done really well to keep up the goals The output that he has managed to put in recent seasons over consistently at the age he is, bearing in mind he only started professional football at a very late age, older than me when he became a professional footballer. So yeah, older than me, older than I am now. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he does cope with the season. He seemed to fade towards the end of the season. Kelechi Iheanacho ended up taking the reins over Vardy, even though he played every game, but he was the one who was scoring the goals. And yeah, I feel like Leicester could drop lower than fifth, definitely, but I don't see them going any higher than fifth. So I've gone for a safe option, Leicester stay there. At the end of the day, they do have a good goalkeeper. They have a good defence, even though they've lost Fofana for that to that injury against Villarreal. Hopefully he gets well soon. It's a horrific injury for the lads, for someone who's looked so well and so good and settled into the Premier League at such a young age as a teenager. They've got a good midfield as well. Tielemans, their midfield's one of the best in the league, with Tielemans and Ndidi and Maddison. And that brings up onto my player to watch for Leicester. That is Boubakary Soumaré. I know I haven't gone through everyone. I forgot to go through everyone. I've gone off track. But I'm making sure I'm getting the key players out there that I think you should watch this season. Boubakary Soumaré, that is a brilliant signing for Leicester. I think he will provide balance with Ndidi as well if Leicester do want to go to a bit more of a solid base in midfield, because he's better defensively than a Tielemans. He's better at I think he'll work better with the Tielemans in there as working as those of a free with an Ndidi as the base, Soumaré and Tielemans as like the 8s and 6s in that 3. So like in a 4-3-3. Yeah, if Maddison does leave as well, it makes more sense. Soumaré, better passer than Ndidi. Not as good as in the tackle. Doesn't have the same in tackles and interception numbers as an Ndidi does, but he's a better passer, better dribbler than Ndidi as well of the ball. So he provides a bit more balance and he's a bit more of a ball progressor. Whereas you got Tielemans, who is the technically gifted one, who can shoot, he can cross, his range of passing's wider as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Leicester do this season with the likes of Soumaré, and that's a player to watch. Key player for Leicester is Jamie Vardy for me as well. If he performs, then keeps up that same level of form as he was, then Leicester will have no problems and we'll be looking to try and compete for the top 4. And the team in 4th for me, we're into the final teams now. This is where it gets interesting. In the order, Manchester United. The only reason, I've not even shared the screen, so you didn't even see that. Manchester United. That is the team that I've gone for in 4th. Basically, with Manchester United, the only reason that I think they will either make the top 4 is I think their squad is just too good. David De Gea or Dean Henderson in goal. Rafael Varane, Harry Maguire, their back 4, one of the best back 4s in the league in terms of player for player. Wan-Bissaka defensively, rock solid, the best right back, one of the best right backs in the world, defensively speaking, just in terms of that 1v1 defending. Harry Maguire, Varane, one of the best centre-back partnerships in the world on paper. We haven't seen it work yet, but on paper, one of the best that we've seen. Left back, Luke Shaw, fantastic season, best left back in the league. Midfield, yes, they need a CDM, but with Pogba looking like he's going to stay now, with Messi signing for PSG, I think, unless we see something. Pogba staying, Bruno, and Van der Beek on the bench. They've still got McTominay, who's okay, he's decent, he's not bad. Bit of a passion merchant, tapping the badge and running around. But he's not that bad actually. He scores quite a few goals. He does a job. Fred, he's okay as well. He does a job. I think he'd be a better squad player for them if they did end up getting a CDM who was a starting one. So someone like a Fabinho or someone like that, someone out there that can do that dirty work, and he's a better tackler, interceptor, and passer of the ball who can do all of that and really let Pogba and Bruno shine. They've got ridiculous quality up top as well. My breakout player throughout the whole season for me as well. This is the player that you guys need to watch. I know you know about him already, but it's Mason Greenwood. I think he is England's best attacker technically overall. Left foot, right foot, header. He can dribble. His movement, his striker is going to, I think he can surpass Harry Kane's goal record. It's a big shout. I think he'll score more goals than Harry Kane in his career. Harry Kane was dreaming of doing what Greenwood has achieved already at that age when Harry Kane was the same age as Greenwood. Mason Greenwood, I don't really like bigging up a Man United player like this, but he's fantastic. I've seen the kid play on live, not live in the flesh, but watching him live on YouTube and stuff when I was watching the Arsenal youth team. From then, absolute a joke of a baller from then, and brought into the first team and still has all the tools and he's doing it. But as he said, as my brother-in-law said right there, Ollie limits them. That's why I think that's why they're finishing fourth. Ollie, I don't see him getting the best out of this team as a manager in terms of tactically, because this is going to have to take a lot of tactics now to provide balance. But as a man manager, I think he can do well, and he'll do just enough to motivate them, and they will just have the quality over the line because they're better than most teams in the league. Really and truly, Man United should be competing for a title, but I don't think they will because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they will just about make it because of Ole, unless it goes and ends up as a catastrophe and gets sacked, and then may end up doing like a Chelsea or something. But speaking of Chelsea, I've not put them in third. For me, that's Liverpool. Sorry, sis. I know you waited so long just to see this part, but for me, Liverpool third. I think we're coming towards the end of Liverpool's squad cycle, if we're talking about it. Mo Salah, look, if they keep these players and the players keep performing at the level that they showed previous to last season, because last season was a bit of an anomaly given their injury woes. If they keep continuing and showing that motivation, the output that they were putting, I think the likes of Salah will. Mane's dipped last season. Roberto Firmino's massively dropped in terms of his performance as well. In my opinion, I'm not sure if many. He's a fan's favourite, so I think Liverpool fans will be a bit reluctant to say that. But the midfield with the loss of Wijnaldum, this is a big shout. Wow. Okay, I'm keeping that because I had to post that just when I watched this video back. That's a big shout. Jota will outscore Salah this year. Okay, I remember that one. Got that written down. For me, I had. Oh yeah, sorry, sis. I had them in third. Yes. Liverpool third for me. I think that's still a good season. It's better than last season for them, given the injuries that they did have with the likes of Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, the centre-back issues, injuries in midfield with Henderson as well. Yeah. I do think it is coming towards the end of that tenure with Henderson not looking to extend his contract as it stands. Van Dijk is not going to come. He's not going to come fit and sharp straight back from that injury, from a long injury, which is the same as Joel Gomez. Andy Robertson's picked up an injury as well, so he's missing the start of the season. Hopefully, that doesn't, for Liverpool fans' sake, it doesn't affect their season, and he doesn't end up having like a carry-on of injuries where it just rolls over and over. So for me, Liverpool in third. As we're coming towards the end of this video, it's just going to be under an hour, I think, and yeah. Guys, if I know I've messed this up and I'll watch this back, I forgot to bring all the breakthrough players, but this is my first one, so I'm going to cut myself a bit of slack. So for me, yeah, this is my first live, so I hope this is going well. I hope that the audio and the video will come out on the channel perfectly. I know it's not as structured, and I apologize for that, but, you know, we live and we learn. So, because I forgot to do things like this, share the screen a couple times. In second, and before I put this down, the teams that I've gone for, exact same thing again when I was talking about Tottenham. If Harry Kane leaves Tottenham, if Harry Kane goes to Manchester City, I think that Manchester City will finish first and Chelsea will finish second. However, if Harry Kane doesn't go, if he doesn't go to Man City, ends up staying at Tottenham, I think Chelsea will finish. I can't bother to do it, but I think Chelsea will finish first and Man City second. I'll talk about these two grouped up. So with Chelsea now, defensively, rock solid. Like Thomas Tuchel with that formation has brought the best out of the defensive players, which looked woeful under Frank Lampard. With the three at the back, really suits them. Midfield, ridiculous. Jorginho and Kante People were talking. Let's not forget, people were talking about Jorginho after the Euros. After the Euros to be a Ballon d'Or contender. N'Golo Kante after the Champions League final to be a Ballon d'Or contender as well. The levels that they've been pushing since Thomas Tuchel's came is unbelievable, and the output that they've been putting for in terms of defensively, progressing the ball, with Kante's dribbling and Jorginho's passing, press resistance from the both of them. It's interesting. The balance that they provide for each other, they complement each other so well. Them two in midfield, with under Thomas Tuchel, keeping them fit, massive. And then with the front three now, whoever it is, absolute joke. Lukaku, and then you can play Werner off. You could play off of Lukaku. You could play Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, who I've not even mentioned, who was a key player for them last season. Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi. The depth they have is ridiculous. And I feel like I'm missing someone as well. But yeah, absolute joke of a team. Ed says Lukaku, 30 goals. Yeah. I mean, absolute joke. 30 goals if he does get that. I think he will get top goal scorer. And Ali, to reply to you as well, don't worry, I do see you there. First game of the season, score prediction before I go. And then I'll talk about Man City and why I think they will win the league. I think Arsenal are going to draw 1-1 with Brentford, by the way. That's on Friday, I know. I'll do a preview to the season's games tomorrow. I think that will be a recorded one, so I can give it a bit more structure. But yeah, Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be difficult for us. So yeah, but back into this video, the Premier League prediction, is Man City top, because if they get Kane, the goals that they're going to score, yeah, ridiculous. He'll be top goal scorer if Kane goes to City, he'll be top goal scorer with the chances that he'll receive. He won't need to drop as deep anymore. With Jack Grealish, no, I wouldn't even start Jack Grealish. With Mahrez, De Bruyne, Foden, Sterling around him, yeah, it's long day. That's what it is. If Man City should win the league, and they will compete for the Champions League as well. Don't think it's a foregone conclusion that PSG will win the Champions League. I may do a video to that and to every other competition as well when the Champions League starts. But that's it for me. So let's just have a quick run through. Run through the table again. So I've gone for Watford. I'm not sharing my screen. So yeah, I'll give you our key players as well, just to confirm the selection. So yes, for me, Watford in 20th position, key player Joshua King, breakout star to watch, maybe breakout player if they do perform well, João Pedro. Norwich in 19th, key player for them. Who did I say was a key player? I can't quite remember. Let me have a look at my notes. Apologies. Key player for Norwich, I did say Milot Rashica, the new signing, and player to watch for Norwich as well, Billy Gilmore. Burnley, I know I didn't mention their player to watch. 18th, relegation for Burnley. Key player for them, Chris Wood. Burnley fans hoping he better score the goals for them. Nathan Collins, that's the key player to watch. Signing from Stoke, young 20-year-old Irish centre-back. I think he will come and take over from James Tarkowski. Not too sure if he'll play that many games this season, but I had to pick someone. Southampton, for me, 17th. They'll just about survive because I think there's 3 worse teams than them. Missing the goals of Danny Ings. They've brought in Adam Armstrong, who I think that is their key player to watch this season. Is Adam Armstrong the replacement for Danny Ings, as he needs to be in his first Premier League season since he was at Newcastle, signing from Blackburn. Player to watch as well. I think the left back's name Roman Perraud. I can't pronounce his name. I haven't heard a pronunciation, but I think he's a good replacement for Bertrand and will prove to be a good signing for them in the end. Newcastle 16th. Just think because Southampton will be so poor, that's where they'll end up. And in 16th, their key player, Callum Wilson, and a player to watch for Newcastle as well. Breakthrough player, Alan St. Maximan. That's the one. Brighton, same again. Think they'll just play better team than Newcastle. 15th will be for them. Breakthrough player for them, Robert Sanchez. Key player for them. I don't think I mentioned it in the video. Neil Morpie. That's what I got written down. Brentford, same for them. Key player. Ivan Toney, and breakthrough player Josh Da Silva. Crystal Palace, 13th. Key player for them, Wilfred Zaha. Michael Elise is their breakthrough. Wolves, oh yes, I didn't mention the key players that I wanted to. Wolves for them, the key players. I did 3 key players for them because I think it's important that at least 2 of the 3 perform for them to finish in this position. Willy Bolly, Ruben Neves, and Raul Jimenez. I think the Wolves fans will agree. Pedro Neto to come back as well. That'll be interesting. Adama, but the spine of the team, there was a spine. In 11th place, West Ham, and I went for the key player for them is Mikel Antonio, and a player to watch for West Ham. Key player Declan Rice and Mikel Antonio, and I can't quite remember the key player to watch. Oh yes. Oh yes, Syed Benrahma, breakthrough player for me. I think he will be for West Ham. Leeds, I said for them. Sorry if I'm looking down too much, guys. Said key player for them, Rafinha. Yeah, I said Rafinha, and in the video I said Calvin Phillips and Patrick Bamford, but Rafinha's the one. Breakout player, I think Robin Koch will have a better season, and now hopefully the injuries are put behind him. Everton, Richarlison, hopefully, key player, hopefully he comes in and doesn't show burnout. With these South American players and Central American players, by the way, they do suffer with this burnout issue quite a lot, and it usually affects them towards the end of their career. So, yes, Everton, as I said, yeah, Richarlison, and breakout player for me, Bauman. Hopefully, he can have a good season, stay injury free. I think he's a quality centre defensive midfielder and will provide balance next to Alan. Tottenham, for me, Heung-min Son. It can only be Son really as the key player. Breakout player to watch for Tottenham. Shouldn't really be doing this either. Oliver Skip. He's impressed in pre-season. He was on loan at Norwich last season and in the Championship, and he's really performed. And he was actually touted to be going out on loan, but performed so well against the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal. I think Tottenham fans think he's going to stay. Arsenal, I broke that down in the video. Key player for them, Thomas Partey. Nicolas Pepe, the top goal scorer. And the breakout star, Gabriel Martinelli. I'm hoping so. Get in there. Aston Villa in 6th. Leicester, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City. So, key player for Man City, for Aston Villa, front 3. Breakout player to watch. I forgot to mention. Let me get up on the screen for this. Matty Cash, top right back. England, I'm calling it now. He's going to see an England appearance before 2022. Matty Cash, I think quality. Let me go back and end this video. It's just over an hour. Wrong tab. So, yeah, check out the channel as well, guys. But, yes, Leicester City in 5th. Key player for them, Jamie Vardy. Breakout player, Babakunde Samare. I mentioned him. Manchester United, key player, Rafael Varane, depending on... Yeah, I guess Ollie should be a key player as well, because depending on when Ollie goes. But Rafael Varane, he's going to be the difference. If Man United are going to perform better and go further in the league, further up, he's going to have to be Rafael Varane making that big difference. And then breakout star, I think the star of all stars in breakout is Mason Greenwood. Liverpool, for me, key player, obviously, Mo Salah. No, I didn't say Mo Salah, because I do think Mo Salah will still perform. Key player, if they're going to perform, how quick does Virgil van Dijk come back from his injury? That's something to look out for. Breakout player as well, I forgot to mention, Harvey Elliott. I think, I think some of you went to the Wolves game. I know that. In the under-21s against Liverpool when he scored from that corner. Yeah, joke of a player. Can you do a live on Love Island next time, please? And thank you. I will. Maybe in a future for a different channel. But yeah. Also, back. Yeah, am I sharing my screen? And then back onto the top. Chelsea and Manchester City. Key player for Chelsea. It's going to be Romelu Lukaku. It has to be. And I thought also, if Chelsea are going to win the league, key player for Chelsea has to be Thiago Silva. With how important he is to that defence, it's important to keep him fit as well. With his aging and his injury record isn't the best. Sorry if I'm shouting down the mic, guys. I realise I've done that quite a bit in the video. But yeah, Thiago Silva, making sure he stays fit, and a breakout player to watch for Chelsea. I think he's going to have a good season, in my opinion. Hakim Ziyech. Massively in pre-season. That's my shout for Chelsea. And yes, but all depending on if Harry Kane signs for Manchester City. Manchester City, key player for me, Rodri. That if Kane goes there, Yes, he will score the goals, but to provide balance for Manchester City, Rodri. I think we saw that in the Champions League final when they came up against Chelsea, how important that was for, and how much of a mistake Pep Guardiola made not having a centre defensive midfielder there and risking it totally. So Rodri is a key player. Breakout star for Manchester City is Gabriel Jesus. Guys, I think that is it. This is where I end the video. Apologies for it not being the most structured. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that if you do watch it back, that you will enjoy it and it isn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here and watching it. I really appreciate taking your time. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed it as well. You found it worthwhile. And I really loved all your comments. And let me just go give a quick shout out to everybody who made a comment before I end it. Ed, smashed it. I'm just seeing you everywhere. Tish, love you, sis, man. I love all of you guys, man. Thank you so much for the support. Jake, nice to see you there. Josh, nice to see you here too. Rue, nice to see you here too, Rue. As I've already said, you, sis, and my sisters. So yeah, thank you so much. Samson as well, thank you so much for the love. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate for everyone joining. I think that's everyone. Ishan as well. Thank you, Ishan. Nice to see you here too. Probably see you at the gym sometime soon. But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, share. Don't like. See, I've even messed that up. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the video and the channel. And guys, please carry on sharing this channel. It will get better as I get more confident and used to these live streams. I've enjoyed it though. I really have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed making these mistakes and also interacting with you guys. I think I might do this a lot more often too. And Kez, she just sent me a message. I hope I'm not sharing my screen now. No, I'm not. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for this and in staying in the video. And peace. I hope you take care. Have a good one.